It's 3 a.m. and you're wide awake. Suddenly, out of nowhere, your career feels fragile, your relationships seem doomed, and your future looks ominous. This isn't just a bad mood, it is a physiological trap where your brain's alarm center is wide awake while your logical oversight is underpowered. Between 1 a.m. and 4 a.m., your brain becomes a deceptive, fearful, and unreliable narrator. These thoughts feel profound and urgent, but know this. At this hour, your brain is actually incapable of nuance or perspective. Treating these intrusive thoughts as meaningful is a mistake that fuels a relentless spiral of anxiety. I'm Dr. Randy Cale, and today I'm giving you a 5-step game plan to identify this midnight brain, refuse the conversation with it, and ground your nervous system. You aren't authorized to judge your life at 3 a.m., okay? I'm going to show you exactly how to step off that spiral train. Don't get caught believing the midnight brain. There's a narrow stretch of time, usually between midnight and 4 a.m., when otherwise competent, grounded adults wake up and, at times, lose their minds. What do I mean by that? Thoughts arise, many strong and intrusive, careers suddenly look fragile, relationships feel doomed, health concerns turn ominous, the future shrinks, the past grows teeth, and the present feels oddly helpless. Sometimes angst, sometimes anger, sometimes guilt. The midnight brain is quite creative in its methods of torture. What's striking is not just the content of these thoughts, but the timing. The same person with the same life would likely handle these tortuous thoughts just fine in the daylight. Yet in the middle of the night, the thoughts feel profound, urgent, and disturbingly believable. These thoughts can cycle over and over, with the victim lying in bed feeling helpless to get off this train of thoughts. This isn't your best brain or your best self giving you guidance or forewarning you or even protecting you. It's the midnight brain, a tired, unreliable, deceptive, and fearful brain. Between 1 and 4 a.m., the brain is running with diminished frontal oversight and an overactive threat system. The parts responsible for perspective, emotional regulation, and let's not overreact are underpowered, while the alarm center is wide awake and dramatic. The result is what I often call the midnight brain, confident, pessimistic, and deeply uninterested in nuance. Treating these thoughts as meaningful is like taking legal advice from someone half asleep. The problem isn't you, it's the hour. The biggest mistake people make is engaging with these thoughts as if they deserve attention. They don't. Midnight thoughts are not puzzles to solve, they're trains you don't want to board. Once you're on, the ride goes exactly where you don't want to go. The real skill is early detection, catching the shift in tone and deliberately stepping off before momentum builds. The game plan to manage the midnight brain, just call it out. Name the midnight brain. The moment you're aware that your thinking has turned to the dark side, even if ever so slightly, label it clearly. This is the midnight brain. These thoughts come with the midnight brain. Not I'm anxious, not something is wrong, just a neutral identification of the state. Naming it creates distance. You're no longer trapped inside the story. You're observing a predictable neurological pattern. That small separation often weakens the emotional grip enough to stop the spiral before it accelerates. You can even gently chuckle to yourself as you keep watching the midnight brain and labeling thought after thought just the midnight brain at work. Second, refuse the conversation entirely. Do not debate these thoughts. Do not reassure them. Do not try to think positively. That's all still engagement, and engagement is fuel. Adopt a firm internal rule. I don't make meaning between 1 and 4 a.m. If something feels urgent, promise explicitly that it will be addressed tomorrow. Write it down if needed. Brains respect boundaries far more than logic at this hour. Third, redirect attention to something structured and emotionally flat. The brain hates a vacuum. If you try to stop thinking, it will simply think louder. Instead, give it something dull but absorbing. Count backward by 3s or 7s. Recite song lyrics slowly and deliberately. Go through the alphabet and name a city, animal, or food for each letter. Mentally reorganize your garage or kitchen drawers. Walk through a familiar place, your childhood home, your office, room by room. These tasks quietly occupy cognitive space without feeding fear or alertness. Fourth, anchor attention in sensation, not calm. You see, at 2:30 a.m., relax is a useless instruction. Instead, ground the nervous system through sensation. Notice the weight of the blanket on your legs. Press your feet gently into the mattress and feel the pressure. Place a hand on your chest or abdomen and notice warmth and movement. Listen for the farthest sound you can hear, then the closest. These aren't meant to soothe you. They're meant to interrupt the threat loop by reminding the brain that nothing is actually happening right now. And fifth, practice strategic indifference about sleep itself. Few things keep people awake longer than trying hard to fall asleep. Urgency fuels anxiety, and anxiety keeps the system activated. Try telling yourself sincerely, "It's okay if I'm awake for a while." This removes the pressure that keeps the midnight brain rolling. Ironically, sleep often follows once the struggle stops. One important caveat deserves mention. For some people, the midnight brain isn't just a nightly wobble. It reflects a nervous system that's been stuck in threat mode for a long time. In such cases, strategies help, but they may not fully resolve the dysregulated pattern, and sleep problems persist. That's where brain-based approaches, such as neurofeedback, can be useful. Not as a quick fix, but as a way of training the nervous system toward greater stability over time. If this pattern is chronic or unmanageable, it may be worth learning more at capitaldistrictneurofeedback.com or by calling 518-606-3805. And let me leave you with one final reminder, worth keeping close. The brain you have between 1 and 4 a.m. is not authorized to judge your life, predict your future, or rewrite your story. Notice it early, name it clearly, and step away from engagement. This is your true power. The daylight brain is much better at handling what the midnight brain distorts and exaggerates.